Y'all can hear me, right? Anyhow, I had the machine for like a year, right? Someone sent it to me. I didn't know what it was. Opened the box up. It was kind of light. I had the first one, the one with the 3 knobs.
The Mark 1?
The Mark 1. And, you know, I thought it was a toy, man, because it weighed like an ounce. You know what I mean? And I'm used to using the MPC or SP1200, you know? But when I plugged it up and started working with it, you know, the thing was a beast, man.
So really quickly, we're going to talk to Ski about his transition from the MPC to Maschine.
Right.
So what made you want to mess with Maschine? I mean, you're an MPC dude, so what was it about it that made you turn it on?
I like the ease of the software, but I still like the feel of the hardware, you know?
Okay.
I mean, I was using like Pro Tools, stuff like that, Reasons, and I just like, you know, the ease. How easy you can move around, how easy you can chop samples, how easy you can just, you know, do things that would take a long time in the MPC, you know?
Now, did you see someone with it, or was it just...
Nah, just my friend was using it, but I never saw him use it. But He just told me about it, so someone sent me one.
Right.
And, you know, like I said, it just sat in the crib for a minute.
What was the first thing that turned you on about it?
Chopping.
Chopping
just,
samples.
Just grabbing, like, I could, like, check it out. I could take a sample. Let me get a sample real quick.
So Ski's pretty much going through the browser, and can you show them how you load it up from your external? Yeah.
Okay.
And just load a sample up, and he's going to start chopping some samples up and show you guys. Whoever had the question about sampling or chopping, he's about to do it.
Like I would have my sample, right?
Right.
And I know there's a slice mode, obviously, in Maschine, but I don't do the slice mode. I'm like old school. I like to duplicate the pads. So that's what I liked about the Maschine. I could just duplicate it. Now I got 2 slices, 3 slices, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You see what I'm saying? Right. I gotta make sure they all on. Oh, matter of fact, hold on. I'm not as fast as you.
Here he go. I want to point something out. While he's chopping the samples up, he made sure that his samples was in polyphony 1, and it was in the first page. So if anybody, you know, understands, like, so that the sample doesn't double over, he made sure his polyphony was in 1 as he's chopping it. Now, are you in one-shot mode or ADSR?
I'm in one shot. Gotta be in one shot when you're doing this.
Now he's tap tempo and he's getting his tempo together. He's chopping up the sample.
And that would take me all day in like a MPC. Yeah. Oh my God. Just to do that, you know, just to get it.
Now, what do you do after you make the pattern? Like, kind of walk them through your thought process.
Once I get my chop, you know, that probably wouldn't be my chop, but if it was, I would go to my drums, go to a different group. I don't have my libraries here, so I'll just use the native instrument library.
You have a question for Ski?
Yeah, so he's copying them and then moving the start point on each one. So
Yeah.
So he's not really chopping it. He's got the entire sample.
He's actually chopping it because he's sampling. Hold on a sec, Ski. He's sampling the
sample
is in each pad. Even if he went to slice and he sliced it and he copied it and created a group, it's non-destructive. So it's gonna just take the slices and put them on separate pads. But instead, he just doing it the manual way because that's his style. But everybody has their own style, so he's just showing you how he does it. And this is the old school way of chopping, and he's showing you that you could use the newer software and still have your older techniques and use it in Maschine. So he's loading up a drum kit right now, or you're going to create a kit?
No, I'm going to load one up.
He's going to load a drum kit up and add drums to his chops and create some patterns. If you look at the hardware, you can see what his hands are doing. Now the question I have for you, really quick, before you start your pattern, do you have a set amount of bars in your preferences that you like to start with, or do you just freestyle it?
No, I keep mine on 4.
Okay.
That kind of gets me started.
So if you guys are wondering, he's just hitting record. He's actually, in his preferences, he has a set number of bars that anytime he creates a pattern, it goes to 4 bars by default. So you can have it on 1 bar, 4 bars, however many bars you want. So you're watching him and you're like, well, it's just looping at 4 bars automatically. No, he actually set it up inside his preferences, so anytime he works, it just does what it's supposed to.
That's right. What I do now, I throw a swing on the kick. First I'll quantize the kick. Then I'll swing it, like 50%.
Tell them how you're doing that.
Holding down the pad, whatever sound I want to add a swing to, I hold the pad down, go to the, what section you call this?
This is the user section.
The user section.
The editing section. And at the bottom of the wheel, if you hit the arrow, you can either tune it, swing it, change the volume. So he's going to swing it.
Swinging it. Boom.
Pause.
And you see it swings the drums. I'm gonna go to a different group, find a different kit, because I don't like
Now
that.
you guys understand how he's creating the groups, right? So he's basically building drum kits. The groups are unlimited, so he could add as many drum kits and whatever he likes. He's just gonna pull it out of each kit.
I don't like that. I don't like that sample. This what I go through at home. I hate the beat, I'll start all over.
Yes, sir.
I'm sure we all do that.
So you notice he had to go to the software to start all over. To create a new track, you have to go to the software. It's not implemented yet in the hardware, but hopefully we'll see that soon. Well, he's not nudging it, he's swinging it by percentage. Nudging it, you're literally moving the note.
Yeah.
So that's two different. It feels like you're swinging when you're nudging, but you're
But you're not.
but you're not. But you're nudging it. So don't get nudging and swinging confused. Yeah.
Oh, you're silly.
So now he's just going through his sound, doing that ski shit.
And with the Maschine Studio and also all the other machines, you can zoom in. I don't know what you call it. I don't know the technical terms.
This is the zoom, and this is just the scroll, so he can go back and forth like this. Zoom in.
I just go. Time stretch. Yeah. So check it out. If I want to time stretch this right here. I got my loop, right? Now you want to speed the tempo up and keep the same pitch, right?
Watch what he's doing so you know exactly what he's doing.
All right, I go to time stretch. Boom. It's telling me the source. Oh, shit. Oh, I got this sitting on 20. My bad. The source tempo is 71. And I wanted to be 90. So boom. I keep the tuning the same. Just the tuning here. I keep that the same. And you just hit, it's 1 bar. You just hit apply. Now it's going to be faster.
Also, so like if he changes the tempo after he stretched it, it's going to follow the tempo.
Yep, totally.
You can do the opposite as well, right? Change the
Right.
I change the tempo?
Yeah, change the tempo so he can see.
Yeah, see now the tempo is 81.
Right.
So I gotta go, 80, so I gotta go back here and hit apply. Now. But if I wanted to change the tuning,
Right.
I can go to settings and I can change the tune and I can bring it up. Apply. But see, I don't use time stretching like that. I do it a whole different way. When I'm time stretching something, I'll take like I'll take that.
Right.
Then I'll truncate it. So I got this right here. Then I'll go back to time stretch. Then I'll take the beats off and keep it in free mode. And I'll bring it to like maybe 20%. And now I got notes, you know what I mean? I like the notes. If I want to make it longer, go back to that, beats off, take it down to like 10%. And this is so much you can do with that, you know?
Now, also, you shouldn't time stretch an entire record. Like, find out what you want to use in the record, chop it up, find the piece you want, and then manipulate that piece. Yeah, stretching in here, a whole record is going to sound crazy.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
I'm interested in buying the machine if it's easy to then use within a DAW.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, check this out.
Yes.
Can you show us about using it within a DAW? Because it's imperative varies from DAW to DAW and how you use it.
It does,
All right.
absolutely.
No.
What DAW are you using?
Sonar.
I'm a-
and also FL Studio. You know, but I want to know for generally,
Okay.
whatever DAW you have, what the tricks and problems and things you got to think about when trying to use it.
Okay.
I'm gonna do something real quick. I use Ableton. Anybody use Ableton?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna show you how I use it with Ableton. Something real quick. All right, say that was my beat, right? And the shit was crazy and I loved it, right? It was whack. Anyhow, I would save this right here. I would save my session.
Are you watching how he's saving it?
I'm just gonna put it on my I'm gonna put it on my desktop for now. All right, I'm gonna call it whatever. Ski. And what you have to remember is the tempo that you save the sequence in. So I know it's 120. So I'll quit Machine. I'll go to Ableton or whatever DAW you use. You know what I mean?
Now, Machine is also a VST, Audio Unit, RTAS, AAX.
Right.
So those are the extensions. It's not rewired, just to be clear.
Yep.
That it's an actual, it's a virtual instrument. You don't need to rewire that.
When you got your DAW open, you go to your plugins and, you see Machine 2 here. You throw it on a MIDI track. Machine opens up. Once the machine opens up, you open up the song that you just created that you wanted to, track out in your DAW.
So you guys are clear that he's opening up Machine as a VST. So it's an instrument inside of the DAW. So it's slaved to the DAW. So whatever tempo your DAW is at, it's going to be at that tempo. Whatever transports, so you lose the ability to use the transports unless you set it in your control editor. There's options in the control editor to choose whether this transport can control, but it's going to control the DAW, not Machina. And then you can still use record, you can still press the pads and everything, but everything is controlled by the DAW, which is the master.
So boom, we got the Ableton controlling Machine.
Hold on 1 second. Do you guys realize that the beat that he did with it standing alone, he was able to open that beat up inside of the DAW, inside of Machina?
Boom.
Yeah.
All right, and if you want to track it out, I don't know how it works in Logic. I don't know how it works in Cakewalk or whatever you use, but I know here I just create my tracks. I go to my external ends. You see Machine here. Put them all in Machine. Oh, not that. Right here. The first one to kick, right? I go here. I go to my outputs. For some reason, Machine, when you use external one, it really doesn't work.
No, the first channel is always dedicated to the VST.
Okay, so
So always start on 2.
2. The Put the snare on 3. I put the hi-hat on 4.
See, now he's actually wiring it in a way that would be wired for hardware. So if you had an MP and used to come out of your 8 outs, he's actually virtually doing it that way. And then the other option is for him to play it and literally drag and drop the actual audio from the VST. But he's showing you how to do it straight recording into a DAW.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's not from tracks, output.
I beg your pardon?
Is he assigning outputs?
Yes, out of the VST into the different channels in Ableton. But he's doing it like, you know, as if anybody's ever been in the studio,
yeah.
like the output, the hardware. But, I mean, some people just drag and drop the patterns right into the audio tracks. But he wants to stay inside a machine while he's working and still hear everything and have control of each sound in Ableton. So in order for him to have control of each sound, he has to actually send each sound to a channel. You following me, right? Okay.
What I did was, I went here. This is the machine outs. Like, this is the kick, that's the hi-hat, that's the snare. I got the kick here. I brought in the snare, and I brought in the hi-hat, right? Then I put it on auto so I can hear it. Or you can throw it in N, it doesn't matter. Maybe N is better. And then you have to arm the tracks in Ableton in order to hear it. So I got them armed, so now when I play it, you got the individual tracks.
It goes back to what I was saying about him having control. Now he has control of everything in Ableton the way he'd like to. He could have controlled it in Machina, but he's using his DAW. So when he's ready to print, he can actually print whatever he wants.
Yeah, if I wanted to record it. And right now it's tracking out.
Can you show them the drag and drop also? Just
Sure. I don't do drag and drop, but I can do it. Boom.
so you guys saw how he did it with the outputs. He could have easily drag and drop also. He's going to show you. You have to solo the kick. He's going to solo the kick, and he's going to...
How do you do it? You do the...
Okay, you just come here. I'll show you. Basically, he's going to solo the kick. He comes here where his plus sign is.
Oh, they moved it.
You hold it, drag and drop it.
Boom, right there.
Boom, it's right there. And now he can pick how he would like to convert the MIDI or drag it. That's if he drags it to his MIDI channel. But if he came here and dragged it right here to an audio channel, it automatically prints.
Will that drag and drop loop or just that?
Whatever I soloed, the entire loop.
Yeah.
Whatever he played. It's not going to just drag and drop the sound. It'll drag and drop the pattern. So drag and drop only works when you have the pattern. You have to have a pattern inside of the Machina to drag and drop it. And it drag and drops MIDI as well as audio.
How about if you have really long patterns or scenes, or whatever you call it, big chain, and it's like, you know...
You can drag and drop a whole chain?
It's going to drag the whole thing back.
Wow.
Or you could just export your whole song and put it in a folder and import the song in the folder inside of your DAW without the VST. This works good if you have a drum beat going, right? You're inside of Ableton, you have a pattern going. You want to just drop the audio in there and start processing. It's 1, 2, 3. If you have a full song inside of Machina, you want to export it, put it in a folder, and then if you want to just send it to your engineer to mix and edit and do everything, that's the way you should do it. You don't want to send a whole song to an engineer and expect for him to drag and drop every single part of your song. That's pretty crazy. Or you could actually stem it out. So if he has this drum kit here and a loop, and I say, yo, Ski, let me get those drums, I want to build on that, he'll send me a stem of the group. So he could just drag and drop the group and give it to me. And then I could drop it in Machine and then build on top of that and send it back.
Can that work too when you add in other instruments that are non-drum, like from a contact or?
Any instrument that you have a pattern on, you have to have a pattern.
How does it know what tracks to assign what instruments when you drag and drop the whole?
I choose whatever I want to drag and drop. So he chose the kick. I might want to choose, so he chose a kick. I might want to choose that, solo it. I'll come here solo. Whatever I'm soloing, and then I'll drag and drop it. I pick and choose what I want to drag and drop. That's how you know. And just label everything you're doing.
Mixing's the art, man. That's a whole nother animal right there, bro. You know what I'm saying? You just got to learn how to mix, It's gonna be different, man. Every song you do is gonna be different. I can't give you no magical preset number
Right.
that works. It's like you hear it, you're gonna know where to cut the bass, where to add the highs, and how to put your kick in with your bass line. You know, it's an art, you know?
Now, let me ask you, when you use a machine, are you in one scene doing the whole beat? Yeah.
That makes a difference.
You're not breaking it down to a song format, right? You're not opening it up where the verse is open and you're taking some stuff out of the beat. You know, are you?
Yeah,
is
you
everything
sequencing?
played?
Is the song
you
mode?
sequencing it?
Are you arranging?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, and this ain't to be funny or disrespectful, but I mean, before you get into like making beats and being in machine and all that, like we have years in the studio. I mean, I'm coming from an engineer's background. I'm a recording engineer first. You know, Ski's been making records for years, and you know, to bring that skill set to Machina is still the same skill set. It's not like we're getting on here and there's something different on here. The compressor on here is different than the compressor that was in the studio. You know, it's different than the 160 XT or different than, you know, H3000 reverb. You know, a studio has, you know what I'm talking about. So it's the same concept. It's the same, you know, learn production, understand levels, understand compressors, take some classes. I mean, I meet so many people in these workshops, and you know they want the questions answered about studio, but I find that these questions are production questions more than they are machine questions and technique questions. You know what I mean? The sampling questions. Why would you have MIDI on this VST? These are things that, you know, there is a format. There is a step. You know, don't ask me about automation if you don't understand how to make a pattern. Why would you use automation? Why are you sampling? Why are you sampling at, you know, such and such hertz? Or why aren't you cutting? Why are you using an EQ? Why a filter? Take production classes. Like, really, it's worth it. No, production classes and engineering is a different world. Those are two...
Yeah, no. But what I'm saying is like what it's asking. More like,
Yeah.
More like a,
Yeah, man.
not a production question.
It's production, because you still need to understand your frequencies.
Your
when
best-
you're making beats, you need to know what frequency that kick needs to be at.
Yeah.
You want it to be at. Like, you gotta
Or where it needs to be at. Where it needs to be at, too.
Man,
I'm not... Yeah.
your best tool, basically, when you're mixing is your ear. Just use your ears and you'll know what's good.
Learn frequencies, dog. Learn where hi-hats live in the record. Learn where your ducking is happening. You know, there's side chaining on here. Why are you side chaining? You're ducking certain bass sounds, certain frequencies. It's all frequencies. This is electronic. It's all frequencies. Learn your frequencies, because then you won't get that muddiness. Understand the headroom. What does that mean? Just take some production classes, you know.
Nick Torrey, you are the winner of our Maschine Studio.